Today is National Coming Out Day, and everyone will experience coming out in different ways. The first National Coming Out Day happened on this day back in 1988, the anniversary of the National March on Washington for lesbian and gay rights. So if today is your first time, or maybe your 1,000th time, we here at 9 News just honor you for your decision to live your life authentically. And joining us today is Dr. Kohli to talk about the health benefits of coming out. I think you think about the emotional toll, right? The courage that you have to have in not knowing what's on the other side of who you're telling. But talk about the physical, the medical implications of this too.
You know, we don't have a ton of research in this field, but what we have looked at so far has shown us that if you come out looking at, LGBTQ communities that come out, they actually have lower levels of cortisol in their saliva and in their blood.
So tell us what that means.
So cortisol is a stress hormone. It's a hormone that's released, when our body's in a fight or flight response. It raises our blood pressure, it causes cardiovascular risk, and having chronically lower levels of this hormone can really connect and be associated with a number of health benefits. And it makes sense if you think about why that might be, because not only are these individuals physically less stressed, but they also probably have a community that they can connect with that can allow for the psychological benefits as well of coming out, such as less anxiety, less depression, less burnout, less substance abuse.
So people carry that burden, if you will, going forward until they are able to find a way and a time and a place to come out. Talk about what others can do for them as far as making that a place where people are feeling welcome or at least understood.
All of these benefits that we talked about, they're all negated if people cannot come out in a safe place or a safe community. In fact, it can actually have the opposite effect if you're feeling stigmatized or traumatized or attacked because of coming out. So I think it's up to all of us, and today is really a great day to talk about this, to create a safe space for people to come out not just with their sexual orientation, their gender orientation, their relationship issues, even their mental health problems, which, as a physician, many of us in my field suppress. They suppress their struggle with mental health. We just celebrated World Mental Health Day, so I think it's really a chance for all of us to own who we are, to accept it, and if we don't do that, it actually can create a whole host of medical problems, and staying in the closet has been associated with risk.
And from a medical standpoint, any advice to those who may be struggling with that decision still, and how it could help their health benefits if they find the strength to do that?
So, if we keep it inside, it creates a phenomenon called cognitive dissonance, where we're not true to ourselves. And it makes me think of that Jekyll and Hyde story that we all read when we were in 7th grade, where you essentially have two different people inside of you. And it's the act of having those two personalities and the act of suppressing it from people. So I would say that every person's journey is going to be different. It's going to be individualized, and it should be individualized. And some people come out with a big bang, with a big announcement on social media, and others take years to come out, first to their family, then their friends, then their bigger circle. Sit down, reflect on what works for you, what might do the right thing for you, but really be empowered to do that, because it could change your life.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, about what kind of advice you would give someone, and a lot of it has to be what works for you and what works for who you're going to be coming out to, whether, like you said, it's a big public announcement, or if it's just to a family or to close ones. But that challenge, when you talk about being true to yourself, that's hard for everyone every day in some cases.
I think we all struggle with it, with different things, with different aspects of ourselves, and social media has really exacerbated that, because every decision is out in the public spotlight. So if you're not sure what the right recipe is for your coming out, talk to your healthcare provider, talk to a mental health provider. They can really help empower you to figure out what works for you, and it's up to the rest of us to clear the path for everyone, because we're all struggling in some way or the other with who we are inside and who we reflect to everybody outside. And those two should really come into alignment to reduce that cognitive dissonance.
Well, it is something that has certainly become, I think, more of a dinner table topic than it ever has been. So maybe it's something that people can do, hopefully, a little more easily than it has been. We'll see. Thank you, as always. Good to see you, Dr. Kohli.